A message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah. Now this the black sheep sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one that's gonna benefit. Never been a threat. Talking out of line, but never let me in it.
Yes, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Veterans Minimum, the #1 sports betting vibe on the internet. I'm your host, Nick Dais. At Nick Dais 10 as you can find me. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. I haven't recorded in Vegas in about 2 weeks, bro.
Man, it's been that long?
And I haven't seen you in a while. Fist me.
It has.
Hey,
whoa, easy. That's not how we start. But you were in New York, right? You were in New York.
I was in New York.
I just got
man.
back from DC last night. So, how was the city? We were excited to see the city possibly burn and lock down because of the Knicks, but it went the other way. How was the city?
The city was cool, man. I wanted to go back home. I don't miss home, bro.
Really?
I do not. I love Las Vegas. I love the friends that I've made here.
Yeah.
I love the jiu-jitsu that I'm doing here. I love the camaraderie of the gym. I obviously love the studio at the Wynn.
Mm-hmm.
I love working with Cam and Mace. Everything that I'm doing is dope. It's everything I wanted. The space that I have, like my apartment is dope. Just everything, bro. And I feel like I moved here when I was 31 years old. I feel like I became a man when I came out here. Like, despite living on my own for 2 years prior to moving to Vegas, like I moved out my parents' crib when I was at 29. I still had the crutch of my family.
Yeah.
I still worked with my dad to make money while the podcast was growing. Still had my mom do my laundry. Like every Friday, I'd give her the laundry bag because my dad would drop me off at home. He'd take it there. And then when he would pick me up Monday morning for work, I'd get the laundry before we get in the car. So I still had Mom Dukes taking care of me.
Dang.
I had to cook and clean and do all that shit on my own, but the laundry I had there. So when I came out here, bro, I feel like I found, I always knew who I was and what I wanted to do. Vegas just validated it for me. It's like, yo, you belong in the space that you're in. You're really good at what you do, the feedback you get, the opportunities with VETMIN. So I don't miss home. The reason, though, I miss my friends, obviously. I miss my parents. Shit, if I could have them move to Vegas, bro, I would never go back to New York. Like, if I could get my parents to move out here and then I could get, like, my close friends, which it's impossible. It's not going to happen because they have their lives there.
Sure.
But, like, bro, so much traffic in New York. I took the train into the city. That was a dumpster fire. Just smelled. I was like, I kind of miss it in a weird way.
That's right. No, that's 100% New York. You're supposed to miss those vibes.
You kind of miss it.
Especially the summer smells.
Yeah.
You know the city has those summer smells. You're like, ooh, that trash has been marinating for a few days. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, you got the bums on the train that have the one train car. Like, oh, that's that guy, yo. That's that guy who, you know. So I do miss a lot of that. But the main reason, bro, why I went back, Josh, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this because I don't want to come off as shallow. I don't want to come off as someone that's like, oh, I'm better than those guys or those people. But, dude, I hate using the word burned out. I don't believe in it because I love what I'm doing. I don't believe in ever getting content. And I did feel like I was starting to go down that path.
Okay.
Kind of doing the same stuff. And I was beginning to lose a little appreciation of everything that I'm doing here. Kind of like going through the motions. And I said to myself, yo, I want to go back for a long period of time. You know, I was there for 10 days. It's the longest since I moved to Vegas that I was back in New York.
Yeah.
Remember, I went back for 2 weeks, but I was only in New York for 4 days because I went to Colombia for a week. So, like, this was the longest I was home in New York. And, bro, I just wanted to see what I left behind. And I wanted to see how much I've grown. And, dude, I met this girl at a bar that I went to high school with. Haven't seen her since high school.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what's good? How you been? You still look great. Like, she was like my high school crush kind of thing. I was like, yo, how you been? You know what she told me? Same old. I'm like, really? I haven't seen you in 15 years. The same old? She's like, you've changed. I was like, I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope I changed. If I was the same person I was at 18, shit, I wasn't the same person I was at 31, and that was 18 months ago.
Yeah.
So I just went back, man. I wanted to see everybody. You know, New Yorkers, the unions and the locals, they're a big part. They're the backbone of the city, right? And a lot of my friends are in that space. But what happens is they promise you the benefits, they promise you the job security, your paid vacations, and it's a very complacent city too. A lot of people just go through the cycle.
Yep.
I never wanted that, bro. Like, I went in, I saw my dad at the coffee truck, and everyone knows what it means to me. I mean, shit, I got the cross streets here. Like, that thing, I always make an effort to go back. And I just saw everything, and I was like, Vegas, man. Like,
and I know exactly what you mean. It's very much, the one thing about this space is it does keep you engaged. It is like, because, okay, I'll put it to you like this. When I moved back to Vegas from Massachusetts, I left the Hall of Fame job and got out here for another sports job. And when that all went under and I had to start working valet, and I realized I had hit like some people's ceiling, and I was like, my guy, this is my basement. Like, this is, I went to school. Like, this is not what I'm trying to do. And like, people were just happy in their lives. And I'm not able to be contented, like, for a while. Like, I'd have to hit some earmarkers before I'd be like, we're good. You know what I mean? Like, I want to keep evolving. And it's interesting to hear you say, you know, what you left behind, because I think, and I said this to my sister-in-law when I was back home, I feel like I missed the idea of Maryland and DC. I missed the idea of it. But I haven't lived in DC in 20 plus years. Like, I last time I lived there full time, I was 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? And so the idea of it is dope. But you get there and it's like, yo, the whole city has changed. It did not wait for me. Like, it kept moving on. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's very, very interesting to hear you say that.
Yeah, man. And I love that you mentioned that, because I also felt as if I saw the more things change, the more they stayed the same also. You know, the bar I hated going to when I was back home, because like, fuck, yo, we got to go to this bar again. Shout out to that bar. We always go to it. Shout out to Rivercrest. I was blanking for a second. Like, that's like our local spot where it's like, bro, we've been going. The guy that owns it used to own another bar that we were going when I was like 17 years old. I was using fake IDs to get into that bar. So like, that's home base. You know what I mean? However, if Travis, who's sitting behind the camera right now, engineering, if he ever was to go to New York, I would never recommend him to go to that bar.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because like, it's a cool bar if you grew up in the neighborhood.
Okay.
But it's not
the bar to go to.
It's not the bar to go to. That's what I'm saying.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like, if someone comes to Vegas, you're not going to tell them, yo, go to this bar right off Rainbow and fucking wherever. I'm blanking right now.
Yeah.
No, you're going to tell them to go to a bar on the Strip, like somewhere popping at the Cosmo or the Wynn, you know? So that's what I mean by that. But yeah, man, it was great, dude. I felt like fucking, let's go, man. Came back and like, you know, I just felt good. I got a lot of sleep too while I was there.
That's good.
Yeah, because my pup, I got 3 other puppies back in New York, so I brought Darce with me.
I was about to say, did you bring Darce?
Yeah, I brought him with me.
Okay.
And he had company, and then my mom was home, my dad was home, but bro, I was like a frat star. I'm waking up at 1, 2 in the afternoon. Don't forget, I had to still edit Cameron and Mesa's show. Yeah. So they record late here. I don't get the files till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So I was pulling in some all-nighters, but it was a great trip, man. And shout out to Tony and Alan. They came out. We rented a studio. I was able to rent the studio. Shout out to the members of the Patreon, man. Like, I never would have thought that I'd be able to just rent a high-quality space when I was back in New York. And, you know, I got a really good deal. Shout out to WTF Studios in New York. But like, yeah, man, like, that's what's cool when you build a community, because I needed a place to go record, and they were able to help with that. And, you know, being able to record with 2 of my buddies from back home was really dope. And yeah, that was my trip in New York, man. I'm glad to be back. Good to see you, because I hadn't seen you for a couple weeks even prior to that.
Yeah. It's been a couple weeks.
It's been dope. And let's get into some NBA stuff, man. A lot happened. Game 7s. Game 7 meltdowns. That's what the thumbnail and the artwork for this episode is.
Sounds about right.
I want to ask you something. And within this question, we'll kind of touch controlled chaos. We'll be going around. Definitely going to show love to the Knicks and, even slander the Knicks in some cases. But my question to you is, I've been watching a lot of hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey playoffs. Obviously, the Rangers are in the conference finals, too. I'm financially invested in the Dallas Stars because my buddy Dylan, biggest hockey fan I know, he's correctly predicted the last 4 Stanley Cup winners.
Wow.
But he's afraid to bet. He's like, yeah, I don't want to get involved. So I bet for him. So shout out to Dylan. He told me the Dallas Stars are going to win the Cup.
Wow, okay.
So they're in the Final Four now. They're playing Edmonton. Florida Panthers are playing the Rangers. So I've been watching a lot of hockey. Dude, hockey playoffs, fucking amazing.
Yes.
The atmosphere is dope. Overtime hockey is like, it got to be the ultimate high and the ultimate low, bro. Tell me not.
Listen, I'm a Caps fan.
Yeah.
I've lost series in overtime. I've lost game 7s in overtime in the playoffs where you feel like you literally want to vomit. It's like, so the last 7 months of my life of just gone. Just gone.
And yo,
I blink.
What's crazy about hockey playoffs, bro, is sometimes you'll see a team go into 3 overtimes and then lose that game. And it might be game 2 of the series. And you feel like, yo, the series is over.
They're no more good.
But then you remember, you're like, bro, it's only game 2. Like, it's 1-1. We stole home ice. We're chilling. So I've been watching that. But my real question, and I know I kind of went off on a tangent there, but my real question to you is, Josh, Vancouver Canucks, Denver Nuggets, New York Knicks, all 3 home teams lost game 7s.
Yeah.
Question. Game 5 winners of 2-2 series in the NBA go on to win 82% of the time.
Yes.
Both Game 5 winners lost the series.
Yes.
Is Game 7 at home, is home court advantage overrated?
Well, I'll start by saying I feel like as far as the hockey one, that was, as far as the Canucks are concerned, the Canucks were the only team that wasn't the better team, I'd say, in their matchup.
I like this.
The Edmonton Oilers, they have been meant to win a Stanley Cup or get to a cup final for the last 4 to 5 years with Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. So, you know what I mean? Like, so that one wasn't so much as a surprise as it was, thank you, Edmonton, for doing what you're supposed to do. As far as home court in hockey means nothing. Home ice means nothing because all it takes is for that road team to get that first goal in the groan start. And you know what I mean? Like a hockey crowd atmosphere, literally you can feel the energy just deflate. Whereas basketball, football, it can deflate for a moment, but all it takes is one big moment, a big dunk, a nice little run, and the crowd's elated again. Hockey, you can feel that joker coming for like 30 minutes before it happens. But as far as home court advantage in the NBA, we saw, I mean, the Knicks were the better team, but the Knicks just could not, whatever it was, they just couldn't get it done. I said on my show 2 weeks ago, my one thing for that series was late game execution and executing, just in the half court. And it couldn't always be save us Jalen Brunson. And that's what the Knicks series really was. If Jalen Brunson was hot, they had a pretty good chance to win. If he wasn't, they lost that game. Or if he wasn't efficient, they lost that game. As far as the Nuggets series, I mean, man, listen, it was good to see the defense still can win the day. I know that you were asking me before as far as like, did they choke it or did they take it in terms of the Timberwolves? And the Timberwolves took it. You know what I mean? Like, sure, there were some choke moments from the Nuggets. I don't feel like Jokic really had many, but Murray definitely had some. But Murray also, I looked up, Murray had like 30-some points. So it was like, he wasn't the reason they lost, but he wasn't necessarily the reason they won either. And they go through those bad stretches, man. Like, Ant started locking down. It was a wrap.
Yeah. There's a lot to break down, man, where you were just saying. But I do want to let's go to the Knicks first.
Okay.
Just a little bit more of controlled chaos. I think a couple things. The Nembhard 3 in Game 3, I think Knicks fans are going to remember that for a very long time. Because it was like 2 seconds on the shot clock, kind of bail out.
No business.
No business, and he hits it. They end up winning game 3 as opposed to losing that game. You go up 3-0. No team has ever come back. Even with the injuries, you're still chilling. Like you're pretty much in the conference finals.
You're not getting a game 7.
You're not going to get a game 7. So that's going to be one of those plays where I feel like if you go to history, you can pinpoint like certain plays in all sports where sometimes it happens, like in this case, early in the series, but you're like, yo, bro, that play is going to really, if we lose the series, it's going to be because of that. Right? Like fucking when Draymond hits LeBron in the nuts, then gets suspended, you're like, bro, even though we're still up 3-1, like that's going to fuck shit up.
That was the play.
That was the play, right? You look at other series where it's like a blown call, like an obvious call doesn't go your way, and then like Twitter goes ballistic for 48 hours, and like the consensus is, yo, the refs fucked up that play, or maybe like you miss a whatever it might be. There's always that one play that happens, and I think for the Knicks fans, it's going to be the Nembhard 3. The one thing that was there was some fallout from the Knicks losing Game 7, and you know, Killer Cam, that's my guy going viral right now from CNN, but he had a take that I strongly disagree with, and I've been seeing a lot of people having this take about the Knicks and how they're blaming the GM and the front office about, well, your roster should have been deeper. You should have had more depth, with these injuries. It's like, hold on. If the Knicks didn't have the injuries, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Sure.
Right? Injuries are a part of the game. But, bro, Bogdanovich, Randall, Mitchell, OG
Anunoby. Josh Hart,
but he still played, but yeah, compensated. And then Brunson ends up breaking his hand, which during that Game 7, the Knicks cut it to like 8. Yeah. And then, because I was driving to the airport, I had a flight out of New York, driving to the airport with my mom, we're listening to the game on ESPN radio, and the Knicks cut it to single digits. I believe it was 7 or 8 points. And then as they go to commercial break, when they come back, they go, oh, reports from the locker room, Jalen Brunson will not return with a fractured wrist. They're like, fuck, even if they win this game,
it's over.
It's a wrap, bro.
Yeah.
They're going to be 20-point underdogs every game against Boston. They're going to lose in 4. Right? So I think the pushback that I would give is, dude, if the Knicks didn't get hurt, and they got decimated by injuries, bro. Because every team is dealing with injuries.
Sure.
But not to 6 guys. You're looking at the Knicks roster like, holy shit, you might be the deepest team in the playoffs with the idea, even though Tibbs doesn't do this, but the idea that he could go 10 deep in a playoff game.
Yeah. He wasn't, but like that's what he ended up being in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, well, to your point, take 6 players off of any team right now. Go ahead and I'll take away Jason Tatum. I'll take away Kristaps, who's already gone.
Yeah.
Let's take away Al Horford. Let's take away Derek White. They're going to start to struggle just off of those 3-4 guys.
Take Naz Reid, McDaniels off the Timberwolves.
They're
take
gone.
Out Conley. Like,
That's it.
No shit,
There's
dude.
nobody.
Obviously, if you say like, oh, you take Ant-Man off the team, but shit, for Brunson, he was probably one of the best players in the playoffs.
Yes.
He was averaging the most points. So you take him off. It's like, yeah, bro. Like you take. It would always be the thing when I would defend LeBron, right? He would get slandered for the first Golden State title in 2015.
Yeah.
When Golden State won the title, it was like, bro, Kevin Love and Kyrie didn't play.
Yeah.
Dellavedova played 32 minutes and then the next day had to go to the ER to get IV. Like, this is what this man had to deal with. You take 2 of the top 3 guys off any team.
Yeah.
You're gonna suffer.
Yeah, I don't care how deep you are. You got some problems.
You got some problems, bro. So with the Knicks, right? Like to defend the Knicks, I think if those injuries don't happen, you're not blaming the front office. The front office has been amazing. They finally have competent individuals with Leon Rose and even Tibbs to a certain extent. Like, yo, you have real people running the organization. And now what I think, if you're the Knicks, right? Dude, this is the first time, I think, in my lifetime that they're appealing to people.
Yeah.
Not fans, because the Knicks diehards are going to be there anyway, but shit, man, now DiVincenzo's kind of a household name, and Josh Hart and Hartenstein. And then if you are a free agent, if the Knicks call you, you're not going to be like, I ain't playing for the Knicks. Now you might be like, all right, let's hear what they got to say. Let's see. You have that culture there now with the Nova guys, and you got the tenacity of how they play, just like they all play together. It becomes a more appealing destination. We're like, bro, my whole life it was, yo, we're gonna get LeBron. We ain't getting LeBron. We ain't getting Durant. We ain't getting none of these guys. Like if we got a meeting, it was a blessing. So now I think like moving forward, and look, man, I think there's always gonna be regression to the mean. You're not always gonna be snake bit by injuries.
That's right.
It's very rare. Like we talk about in the NFL all the time, like the season through hell team. It was Baltimore 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And this year they go to the AFC title game. It was the Niners a couple of years ago when they didn't make the playoffs. So the one time they didn't make the playoffs with Shanahan. Yeah, because by week 4 they lost like 9 starters. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think there's gonna be some regression. I think the Knicks are in a really it's the best offseason that they're going into in a very long time. They have some decisions to make. But I feel pretty optimistic about the Knicks.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you got to bring OG back. If you can bring him back at a solid number, 15 mil, 12 mil a year, somewhere in there, that would be helpful. But I mean, to your point, people want to go because and I think as sports fans, everybody can agree and can attest. There's nowhere like New York. There's nowhere like those fans. The energy. I was talking to my brother because my brother was at, I can't remember if that was game 1 or game 2 versus the Sixers. That comeback, that crazy comeback. My brother and his daughter, who just graduated from Georgetown, they went to that game. And so I was talking to them like I was talking to Gabby, like, bro, do you understand that you went to like a top 5, top 10 NBA game in history? Like that kind of a comeback. You know what I mean? But and it was interesting because, she's a fan, but she's not, she's a girl, so she's not a super fan. And she was like, the energy in that place, like she was she was just talking about how, like, even as a non-fan, it's like a religious experience. And I've talked about that, on the American fan, like that's the kind of feeling that you get in sports. And I couldn't imagine that feeling on steroids like that day. Oh my God.
Oh, bro, I always make it a conscious effort whenever I go visit a place on vacation or, a bachelor party, which I guess is a vacation also, even though you come back fucking all banged up from it. As the sports fan that I am, the American fan that I am, cheap plug, American Fan 365, Josh's show, I try to go to sporting events. Even if it's a baseball game, dude. Like, I want to see how the fans are behind it because everyone's always biased. Like, yo, we got the best fans. We got the best fans. I want to see it, and I think it's a dope thing, man. But then again, like, the fans couldn't help the Knicks, couldn't help the Nuggets.
Yeah.
In Game 7, and, Indiana at one point was 22 or 27 from the field. You ain't winning, bro. You ain't winning.
At all.
It was one of those games where everything, they set a record for highest shooting percentage in a first quarter, first half, and then the 5th best shooting percentage for a game in playoff history. It's like that's what it takes. And then Brunson goes down and they fought to the end, but it was just too much for them. Yeah. So I feel good about the Knicks moving forward.
I do too.
Pacers, we'll get to the Pacers in just a little bit, but I want to pivot over to the Nuggets. Wow. I'm on the flight coming back, right? So I'm watching the game.
Okay.
When they go up 20, kind of close my eyes for a little bit, and I wake up, and then I see 92-88 Minnesota. I'm like, holy shit. Mind you, had, thanks a lot, man. I had a lot of Nuggets futures.
Okay.
Nuggets to win the West, Nuggets to play the Celtics in the finals, Nuggets to win the finals, Nuggets parlayed with England and Uruguay and Real Madrid, Nuggets parlayed with just mad Nuggets parlays, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. So when I landed, NBA TV does replays of games. I went to watch the second half. Epic comeback or epic collapse? What would you describe that as?
It was an epic comeback because they did it with defense. They didn't do it. It wasn't like it was a run based on, now granted, the Nuggets were not getting into any kind of actions. But at the same time, the Timberwolves weren't allowing them to get any actions. I always, as a coach, you always talk about guard your yard, and I hate the culture of over switching. Like, oh, okay, I get touched, switch. I get touched, switch. And it's like Jamal Murray, he's killing this switch. Like, I'm gonna kill this guy. That guy, I didn't want this guy in front of me. Anthony Edwards is a madman. He is not switching anything. He's guarding his yard. And I love to see it because he was harassing the hell out of Jamal Murray. Like, Jamal Murray could do nothing in that second half of the game. And he had like 20 plus, almost 30 points in the first half of the game. When everything was good and everybody's getting open and they're getting open shots, he was great. When they clamped that door, shit got serious.
Yeah, and Anthony Edwards after the game says I put handcuffs on him. I think the one thing that's really dope about Ant-Man, bro, and why I think he's taken the league by storm, he's so rugged.
Mm-hmm.
He's so 1988 bad boys Piston. Like, he's not as aggressive, like, physically, as far as he ain't knocking people out. He's not doing that stuff. But he's goes at the rim, hits him with the suck it, goes at Booker. He goes, yo, I had the handcuffs on Murray. He trolls his teammates. Like, yo, fuck them 9 years, bro. Like, when Karl Anthony Towns was talking about, yeah, I've been here 9 years and this is the funnest. He's like,
Karl Anthony Towns been in Minnesota for 9 years?
Bro,
Jesus Christ.
Dude,
You said 9 years. I was like, 9? What?
Bro, I talk about this shit all the fucking time, dude. When Paul George came out for the Clippers in the last game, they were playing the Mavericks, and they're like 14th season out of Fresno State. I'm like, 14 years he's been? I feel like he just got there. Dude, like, it's so wild. Like, Booker, year 9 or 10, like, these dudes, but they come into the league so young.
That's true.
That when they're 28, in the past, it used to be year 5.
Yeah.
And now it's year 10. Because they're coming into the league at 18, 19 years old. So,
that's right.
Yeah, man. And Anthony Edwards, to that point, was just saying, yo, fuck them 9 years, bro. Like, shit is different here. And already he's like, yo, I got Kyrie next round.
Yeah.
I got Kyrie. Like, I got Kyrie. And the craziest thing, man, is, they're kind of bringing defense back.
Yes.
Like, they're so good at understanding their rotations. All the guys can kind of cover everyone, which is they're very versatile defensively. And then the craziest stat, you want to hear something wild? And I think this goes to show you that when Edwards does get 30 and 40, they're almost impossible to beat. Because the Timberwolves this year, in games that Anthony Edwards has 8 points or less in the first half, they're 8-1 in those games.
Good Lord.
So you can't even say, oh, he's having a shitty game, you're going to get up on the Wolves. Like, nah, bro, that don't even matter. They have a lot of guys that they just play well together, and it seems like the camaraderie of that team, even though it's relatively new, they fuck with each other.
Yeah.
Same reason why the Knicks had success. Like, you got those Nova guys, and then around that, you've built, like, that infrastructure. Like, oh, yo, these are going to be our guys that we're going to get behind, and we're going to match their intensity and their energy. And then you have the crowd that builds into it. That's like an extra layer of an X factor that goes into it. Timberwolves are a problem, and they're very good. And, dude, if they do go on this run, I mean, they are on this run now, but if it does lead to a championship, man, you're looking at something that could be. I said this about Denver, right?
I know.
I said this about Denver.
I know.
And another crazy thing: the last six defending champions, Josh, haven't advanced past the second round.
I hate you. That's one of my stats.
Yeah.
Yes. The last one was the Warriors, the year that KD snapped his Achilles and everybody got hurt. Right. That was the last champion to get past the second round. They made it all the way to the finals again, but nobody else. And I was like, there's no way, because they said that, and I me, I got ESPN messing up, and I went and I was like, no, they lost.
Yeah, dude. Raptors, Lakers, Bucks,
Warriors, yes.
Now Nuggets.
Yep.
I know we're missing one in between.
Hold on. Give me a second. Go ahead, fill that dead air. I got you.
Raptors. Warriors won it back to back. Then it was Raptors in 2019. Then you had the COVID year with the Lakers.
Okay.
Then you had the Bucks.
We got Golden State, and that was when they went back to back. They had the chance to win 4 and 5. They lose to the Raptors. The Raptors lose Kyrie. They lose Kawhi. They don't go anywhere the next year. The Lakers win in COVID. They win in the bubble. Then the Bucks beat the Suns. Then the Warriors. Then the Nuggets. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, man. It's that's a crazy, crazy trend. But I think that just goes to show you that the league has changed. And now the league is a lot different and there's more depth. We were talking about like how crazy the bar fights were in the West, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like all those matchups, you just look at it and yo, shout out to us two, man. Mavericks 40-1.
Yep.
Middle of March. You're gonna see the clip resurface. Dom, we might have to do a cut back right now. Pause. Cut back to that video back in the day. Mavericks 40-1. And the case that we made was like, yo, look at the teams that might be playing teams. Durant and Booker, AD and LeBron, Splash Brothers and the Warriors, and then you got Luka and Kyrie.
Yep.
Like, this is who a Thunder is going to have to face. And you just had a monster season. This is who Minnesota at the time was going to have to face. This is who Denver would have to face, right? So, like, you're looking at the depth of talent in the league now where, man, last year, we saw Miami as an 8th seed, a play-in team, go to the finals. Like, I don't want to say it don't matter. Like, obviously, you would like a more favorable draw like the Celtics have had, which a lot of people are on the Celtics anti-bandwagon as far as, you haven't played anyone yet. You're getting Giannis and Dame were hurt. You're getting the issues with Philly. You're getting a depleted Knicks team. You're getting who else was it in the East? I can't even remember. That's how
Pacers,
bad it is. Well, the Pacers. Jimmy Butler for the Heat.
Yeah, no Jimmy Butler for the Heat. Obviously not the Hawks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was flawed.
Everyone was flawed in the East. So, look, man, I think it's going to be really interesting. I want to put a bow on the Nuggets because, my question to you is, Murray and Jokic had 69 points in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
Rest of the team had 21.
Yep.
Michael Porter Jr. set to make $40 million over the next 3 years. He had 25 points in the last 4 games. Aaron Gordon, complete no-show in Game 7. What do you do, bro? Because, like, your stars showed up. Even though Murray got the clamps put on him in the second half, bro, he had a monster first half.
Yeah.
And I will say that, like, it's funny, man, because we do this in media, in sports media, and we do this as fans, how, shit, man, 24 minutes completely changes the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, if they go on to win that game, right, they win Game 7, Denver, that is.
Yeah.
Let's think about what the conversation would be this week. Like, dude, how many point guards are you taking over Jamal Murray in a big spot?
Yeah.
Right, where he has a 30-piece in a Game 7.
Yep.
Like, Jokic is, like, top 10 in every major statistical category in his career in the playoffs. Like, this duo going back-to-back. Shit, Nick's been talking about this might be the beginning of a run for Denver, And to bring it into Minnesota now, I've been hearing some people say, well, if Minnesota goes to the finals, it's going to be devastating for the ratings. Is it? What was, and I always go back to this.
Yeah.
What was Golden State 10 years ago today? How did we feel about Golden State?
No one cared.
No one cares. Like, this is the wrong California team we won in the finals, right? What was Chicago pre-Jordan?
Nothing. They were the cocaine circus.
Yeah, the cocaine circus. I just finished watching The Last Dance again. But, dude, they weren't a draw.
Yeah.
What was the Kansas City Chiefs? They weren't a draw.
100%.
The Celtics have always been a draw. The Lakers have always been a draw. The Knicks will always be a draw.
Everyone else, it's up for discussion.
Who knows, dude? And I know, guys. I said this about Denver, and it didn't turn out. But what if this is the beginning of a run for Minnesota? What if it's the beginning of a run for, Indiana? Who knows? Like, they have a pretty young team.
Yeah.
So, like, I hate these conversations that the media has, and I don't know if it's to create content or to create clickbaitable stuff or to get fan bases angry, but, like, bro, you always got to remember, like, New England wasn't popping. Having the Patriots have 7 like, they weren't popping until Brady got there, and they win all these championships. All of a sudden, it's, they're the bad guy.
Yeah.
They're the team to beat. They're the big dog. They're the biggest draw in the league.
Yeah.
So, like, yo, you never know. And that's why I think there's such a big appeal with Anthony Edwards, because he's 22 years old. If this is the beginning of something, you know the comparison's going to be, because he's already getting the Michael Jordan comparisons. It's like, yo, what was Jordan doing at 22? He just want to, because that's going to happen too. What did LeBron do at 20? It's always going to happen. But I just think that we need to chill on that conversation, because you don't know if this is going to be the beginning of 4 rings in 7 years or some shit. You just never know.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the Nuggets are concerned, Jamal Murray was talking afterwards about just how different it was to be the hunted versus the hunter. And he said that it is emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausting. And I think it really does put in perspective just how impressive it is to go back to back, or in Jordan's case, to go three-peat and to do that twice. Like, we don't see it. The Warriors have done it, you know what I mean? But then outside of them, we just saw no one's done it in the last 6. Before the Warriors, it was LeBron's Heat.
Yeah.
Before that, we all have to go all the way back to the Kobe Bryant years, and then the Kobe Shaq Lakers. Like, back-to-backs don't happen, man. It's hard. It's really, really hard. So I think what this does do for Denver to add to your, talking about MPJ and Aaron Gordon, one of the biggest things that they did in that series was actually letting Aaron Gordon facilitate the offense instead of Jamal Murray to get him freed up a little bit. And they didn't do that as much in Game 7. And but I think you stay pat. They have a full nucleus. Your $40 million over 3 years is dog food in today's NBA. You don't touch that. That child is locked in. We are happy for him to be here. He is a 20-point guy, possibly a 30-point guy, depending on the night. They're fine. I feel like I think that they might go on a Spurs type run where they're always there. So it just depends on the year, you know what I mean? But maybe they don't go back-to-back, but maybe they win every odd year.
Shit, the Spurs never went back-to-back. That's been like the biggest knock on, if now you start reaching when you're doing this.
Yeah, of course.
Shit, man, give me 5 titles in a decade. I don't give a fuck if they're not back-to-back.
I could care less.
Right? But that's the knock on, like, the Spurs. Like, well, what kind of dynasty were they? When, like, nerds go off and shit.
They were the dynasty that you did not want to play at all.
Bro, winning 50 games a year for fucking 15 years and you win multiple titles. Like, yeah, give me that over. All right, you didn't go back to back, but who cares? But then also you look at the similarities is you had Shaq and Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
You had Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
You had some like fucking grizzled OGs in the game.
Steve Nash.
Yeah, you had those teams that you would run into so that like, all right, yo, if you did lose, like you lost to Kobe and Shaq, bro. Like it's not a bad thing. You lost to, so like, who knows? Maybe you're looking at shit. If Minnesota goes on to win the title, which by the way, quick little rant. Let's keep the ISO on this. I've heard, because I got some sources now, Josh, that the sports books are going to do very, very well, and they're going to be very, very happy if the Timberwolves win the title. A lot of money on the Mavericks. A lot of money on the Celtics.
Yeah.
Not much on Indiana. But, like, nobody was on Minnesota.
Yeah.
Dude, Minnesota at the start of the playoffs, 40-1.
Wow.
Shout out to Mark in the Discord, one of the loyal listeners of Veterans Minimum. He just started doing jiu-jitsu. He said that the show and my love for jiu-jitsu has sparked his interest in it, and now he's been training for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, keep it up, bro. It's dope. It's one of my favorite things to do. However, if you ever come to Vegas, hit me up. Let's come train. You're going to get darsed. That's just like, that's how I show love to my people. Everybody's going to get it. Any belt, any gender, any age, you're going to get darsed. That's just how it goes. But he's holding a ticket 120-1 on the Timberwolves to win the title. Do you know what drives me crazy to the point where, like, I don't want to talk to childhood friends when they do this shit?
Yeah.
If you haven't bet, like everyone knows that I bet the Mavericks. I got 2 friends. I got Mark, who's a fan of the show, and my buddy X from Jiu-Jitsu. They've bet the Timberwolves. If they come and troll me and say, yo, you fuck the Mavericks and shit, I'm cool with that. Because you've invested. You've made a wager. You have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
If you haven't bet on the Timberwolves, and you know I bet the Mavericks.
Yeah. And you're just being that guy?
And you're being that guy, I want to fuck you up. There's no other way to say it. I want to unfollow. I want to block. I want to say a lot of things that would make me lose my job, but I love my job to you. I think that's the corniest thing that you see on social media or that you see like amongst friends. Like, bro, don't do that. You know I'm financially invested. I have hundreds of dollars with the prospects of thousands of dollars.
Sure.
If the Mavericks win, I'm not saying to root for my bet, but I'm saying don't trash it, dude. Like the amount of times that I'm out with my friends and, I swear to God, bro, this has happened many times. We're watching a UFC fight. I'm on one fighter. My boy's on another fighter. I have $25, $50 on him. My friend has $500. I kind of want to lose my $50.
Okay. That's a good friend.
Because you have 10 times that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And especially if I've won a couple fights beforehand, like, cool, man. Now, look, if I have a parlay and that's the last leg of my parlay, I feel indifferent. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But like, bro, don't be that guy. That's the worst fucking person to be around. No one likes you. No one likes being you around that guy, bro. Like, you're just a Debbie Downer. You shit on it's just lame, bro. Don't do that.
I just hate people that cheer for the other side for the sake of they don't want to see your happiness.
They don't want to see your happiness.
That is like, it's like, ooh, because I'm never that person. Not on purpose. Like, if I like the other team, I like the other team. But like, I don't even know who's cheering, and I'm just like, oh yeah, go that team. Like, bro, you're an asshole. I'm just saying.
Bro, I have friends that are more excited to see your misery than they are to see their team win.
That's New York, though. That is different. You guys are different. You guys are bred different.
No. But here's the thing, bro. I'm not even talking about. Actually, yeah, it is kind of that. Yeah. Because like, I'm thinking right now, like I have Yankee fan friends who shit on them. Like when the Mets were in the World Series, they were rooting for the Royals.
Yeah.
Right. And then like I have Islander friends who like they rooted for Washington. And then they rooted for Carolina.
Yeah,
now they're rooting for Florida.
Yeah.
And you're like, I kind of get it, but then also like you rather see me miserable than like you happy.
Than
like
someone that you don't even know. Like you don't even know these people. Yeah.
Corny. Cornballs. Generational cornball.
Like even if I did, like, because listen, I don't like the Rangers. But I'm not going to be like loud about it. At this point, like my team's out. You guys took me out. I'm not gonna be like, oh, go the other team, like to your face. That's not what the American fan would do. Or is it? And
it could be because I'm being biased and because I have money on a certain side. Like, yeah, but it's like, yo, bro, it's annoying to be around that guy. Like, it's not fun. It's not enjoyable. Like, dude, one of my favorite people to be around is my buddy Boss, Nick. He used to do veterans minimum with me. Like, shouts to Boss. Everyone knows this. Like, yo, there's mad times where like he'll be on a fighter in the UFC and I'll be on the other fighter, and it's never like, yo, I fucking told you, bro. It'll be like, yo, good shit, man, good call. Because we've been on both sides. It's happened many times where I'm right. It's happened many times where he's right. And it's just like, yo, especially when you have money involved. That's why, like, if you've bet the Celtics, if you've bet the Timberwolves, and you know I bet the Mavericks, I welcome all the smoke. You know how I am. I love trolling. That's how I show love. Yeah. That's cool. But if you haven't, and you're just rooting against the Mavericks, unless you are a Wolves fan, you're just generational cornball. That's what you are there. And I wanna ask you a question while we do a quick little plug. Shout out to Rebet. Rebet is a free-to-play social sports book. Rebet Cash is redeemable for real money. Users can gain an in-app status based on the number of coins they have. The rebet button instantly duplicates another user's bet for yourself. Users can bet directly against their friends with our peer-to-peer betting. You guys all know that I felt like the future of sports betting was always going to be peer-to-peer. I would say this back in like 2017, 2018. People have an issue, Josh, with betting against a sports book because they feel like, yo, the house has an edge. So now what you could do is I could just bet against Josh straight up. Like, that would be the bets that you would have. Beginners can navigate to the settings and turn on their easy-to-read lines. This will transform their entire platform into a simple and easy understanding of the format. So, for example, The spread -3 is now known as win by more than 3 points. Money line is now shown as game winner. It's no longer using the actual betting vernacular.
Okay.
It's kind of just sports betting for dummies, right? Sports betting 101 for dummies. So easy to read lines, -105 lines, 2% VIG during the NBA Finals is coming up to increase profit margins. You're not going to get -105 anywhere else. -105 is wild. Every sports book that you see, every casino that is built off that -110, that -115. They're offering -105. And listeners of Veterans Minimum, if you go to Rebet app, download the app, use promo code VM, they will match your first $100 deposit, give you an additional $100. That is $200 that you'll be able to play with. Shout out to Rebet. The app is available in all the big sports betting states: California, Texas, Utah, Minnesota, Missouri, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Alaska, Hawaii, Washington. States they are not available in:
Nevada,
and of course, Idaho. There ain't nothing cool in Idaho. Download the app, use the promo code VM, and they will match your deposit. And shout out to the people that we've given money to go on and play on Rebet. King Abel Resin, and also Christopher Velasquez. While we're here, Josh, let me ask you this. Western Conference Finals Game 1. Can I tell you a bet that I like?
Okay.
And I want you to give me your thoughts on it. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I feel like, especially on the road, the stars tend to show up.
Of course.
Right?
That's their job.
Stars show up on the road. And I think he's had a relatively quiet playoffs, especially the last series. But I think if the Mavericks have any chance to win, I need bare minimum 65 from Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah.
You're getting lively contributions. You're getting Jones Jr. Well, all of a sudden, it's Peja Stojakovic on the Kings. Dude is just draining threes. And then you got PJ Washington also.
Yeah. PJ led all scorers in the last series. He was their high scorer for the whole series. Like, they ain't going to be able to move on with that.
Yeah. Now we need Luka and Kyrie. And Kyrie Irving is over 21.5 points, -135. You got to lay some juice on that, but I think it's a great matchup against Conley.
That's if it goes Conley, though.
Yeah.
If it goes Ant-Man.
If they go Ant-Man, yeah.
You got to hurry up and get to that 20. You need like 15 in the first half.
Well, the thing that's so frustrating about Kyrie is because he got there in the last game, and like, bro, he had like 4 points in the first half. And you're looking at it like I had bet him on Rebet, actually. I had posted about this at 20.5, and I was like, fuck, man. Like, he just goes on these random spells where he looks like he doesn't care. And then he had 13 points in the third quarter, and you're like, all right, we're within striking distance. But he goes on like these 13, 15, 18-point quarters.
Yeah.
And dude, Kyrie Irving, bro, 14-0 career in closeout games.
Wow.
So if the Mavericks get to 3-1, get to 3-2, hell, even Game 7, bro, Kyrie and Luka have gone into hostile environments in Game 7s and have had like soul-snatching performances from the fan base. Like, bro, what they did to Phoenix.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What Luka did to Phoenix, what Kyrie did in Game 7, he hit the biggest shot. Probably that and Ray Allen's shot are the biggest shots of LeBron's career.
Yeah.
The biggest shots of LeBron's career, he didn't even take them.
It's one.
It's Kyrie and Allen. So I like Kyrie in Game 1 to go over 21.5 points. Use the Rebet app and use promo code VM to get a $100 match deposit. Josh, I want to end with this. I know we didn't really talk much about like previewing the series, but we kind of did a good amount of touching on each series within breaking down everything. It's been going around, so I don't want to take credit for this because it's been going around how one of Halliburton, Tatum, Luka, and Anthony Edwards, one of them four is going to win their first ring.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest, say, let's use the football analogy, right? Like Monday morning quarterback, right? Let's say the series ended on a Saturday or a Sunday. Monday, leading the talk shows, what do you think would generate the biggest number, the biggest draw that, holy shit, yo, this guy got his first ring?
Oh, well, okay. Putting it that way, it would be Luka, who I feel like the culture and basketball people and like who I feel like it would catapult them to another stratosphere. It would be Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards would be doing something that we haven't seen since like Dwayne Wade. And I feel like he's on that kind of run. Whereas like we were watching a superstar be created in front of our eyes. And especially when we talk about doing it both ways, as we were talking about before, as far as his defense and also just the number of big backbreaking moments and shots that he's hit. I feel like he would go to another place. Whereas like Luka, he ain't really going anywhere bigger. He is a name. Everyone knows his name. Everyone knows you say Luka, you know you're talking about Luka Doncic.
Can I push back real quick?
Sure.
Don't you feel like, and you'd be perfect for this because your brother played in the league, you love basketball, you follow basketball, and you know that, like, bro, we kind of give you a grace period of, I don't know, what would you say the grace period is? In the sense of, you're this guy, you're this next MVP, you're the next, like, top 5 All-NBA guy, like Luka has been.
Yeah.
But, like, bro, eventually it's like, hey, man, you can't get out the first round. You can't get to a finals. You haven't won. This is year 7 for you, or this is year 10 for you. Like, what's the grace period? Because Ant-Man, he's nowhere near that grace period yet. Like you said, he's kind of on playing with house money.
1,000% playing with house money.
Where I don't think that's the case for Tatum. I don't think that's the case for Luka. It's like, bro, we've been waiting for y'all to bring one home already.
So as far as Tatum and Brown, it would be validation for them, but they don't have to do it just simply because of the Celtic lore. The Celtics have won so many titles. It would just be like, oh, okay, good job, Celtics. You had however many first round picks, top 5 picks to get this right, and you finally got it right. It would help their legacy, but at the same time, it doesn't really do much for the Celtics. The Timberwolves get to a finals. The Timberwolves never even got to a finals with KG.
Yeah.
Stephon Marbury. So just them getting there already is like, Jesus Christ. It's like I said, it's similar to Dwayne Wade. The Miami Heat had never been to a finals until Wade took them there and then won it versus a better team. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they won, he would then be on Hall of Fame trajectory, no question. You know what I mean? He would be that guy. Like, it would be hard to not, like, even if his career ended in 2 years, he'd probably still get to the Hall of Fame just because of the run that he made at 22. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Luka and those other guys, they're already pretty much established. Their Hall of Fame trajectory is already going. It would validate them, but it doesn't necessarily make them. To answer your question as far as like the bandwidth and how much rope you give somebody, ask Carmelo. Like, we gave certain players 10 plus years to get it right. You know what I mean? Like,
but yo, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Melo's career has aged really well as far as like, at least for Knicks fans. Yo, he was the only one that actually came to New York.
Yes. Yeah, wanted to come.
He wanted to come here, and it wasn't because he got 120 million or 100 million like Amari did, right? Amari, you were kind of a consolation prize. Like, we wanted LeBron, we wanted Wade, we wanted all these other guys, and then we're like, we'll take Amari. You know, so like Melo, it really aged well, his career post New York. Now, I'm not saying that it was promising and it was fulfilling, and other fan bases would agree, but I'm saying for New Yorkers, right? So, but like, Melo was never, he's the best player in the league, where people have made that case for Luka, people have made that case for Tatum, and Edwards is on that trajectory where I think Edwards, my answer would be Edwards.
Yeah.
Because I think he then officially becomes the face of the league. There's no more us putting him on 4th straight thumbnails asking the question.
Yeah.
He's young enough, he's American. Kind of made that case of like,
speaks well.
Yeah, can you be the face of the league if you're European?
Yeah,
I don't know. Is that nationalist? I don't know. I don't know what the
no.
But I think like every face of the league has always had like, he's American.
Yeah,
and Anthony Edwards, he's young enough, he's brash enough, he's different. Like, fuck that. I don't want to hugs hugs and kisses after. Like, nah, bro, I'm coming to put handcuffs on you.
For your neck.
Yeah, I put handcuffs on you.
Yeah.
I show up with no drip pregame. I'm chilling. I wear a tank top to post-game interviews.
I'm not waving a gun.
Yeah, like I'm not doing, that was a shot at Ja. But you're right though, because like Ja was on this trajectory.
He was
too.
the guy.
Yeah.
He was the next in line.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, it's gonna be Ja Morant's league.
So I think for me, the biggest storyline would be Anthony Edwards. Because then like, you enter a different, more commercials. Right?
Yeah.
You've already done that movie.
Yeah.
The Hustle.
Yeah.
Which was, you got great feedback on that. You actually played yourself in that movie. Like, the character that you played and kind of depicts how you are in real life, which was dope. So I think the answer would be Anthony Edwards. Who I would want to see would obviously be Luka, both financially, but also because I feel like Luka's at that grace period. And then, dude, if you look at what the Mavericks have done, kind of went all in on this season. Getting Gafford, PJ Washington, you give up assets. And, we had CJ Watson on the show a couple weeks ago. He was the first to say LeBron is going there next year.
Going where?
To Dallas.
Jesus.
That's his take. He's like, it's like the no in the NBA says that he's basically going there because like Dallas has the capital to draft Bronny.
Wow.
And then he's gonna follow where Bronny goes. So like if you're the Mavericks, why not? He's expressed that he wants to play with Kyrie again. And now LeBron is your third option. I think that would be dope.
That would not be dope. I hate this life. I hate this. I hate every second of this. That is not like, no. And way to end the show and ruin my day at the same time.
We do, because I know you got to get out of here.
Christ.
I got to go get a haircut also. Shout to Travis behind the camera for operating this show for us here at Sticky Paws. Make sure you guys check out all the shows that we put out. My favorite thing about this time of year is that a lot of the content is more evergreen, so you go back and listen to a couple cool things. Talked about the NFL schedule with Alan and Tony last week. Did some Face of the League stuff and asked that question about what's the criteria. Please rate, review, subscribe, watch us on YouTube, repost the clips, share the clips, all that stuff. It's the best endorsement anyone could give. You telling other people that you're listening to the show and following the show. Make sure you follow us, All Things Veterans Minimum, or at Veterans Minimum on like 25 different fucking platforms. So please just go and look that up. As far as I go, at Nick Day is 10 as you can find me. A Tuesday release, as you guys can see, because of scheduling issues. Good to have my guy Josh back, sporting the Brazil jersey. Where can they find you?
The American Fan 365 on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify. We're out here. Looking forward to the summer, looking forward to developing a good schedule for the rest of the remainder of the summer of different things. Might be trying to get out to the Olympics. So we're going to see how that goes. But please, as Nick said, share everything, post it, repost it. It definitely does help out the page.
We'll catch you guys next time.
In his element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.